Buongiorno dall'Eurobike. Ciao Paolo.
Ciao Marcus.
Ciao Marcus.
Ciao Andrea.
Come va?
Stop. We have to talk in English. Welcome at the Eurobike. I'm here with Paolo e Andrea di Cinelli.
Ciao Marcus. How are you?
Parliamo un po' di Cinelli.
Let's talk about Cinelli, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a long story actually. Cinelli was born in 1945, so probably we cannot touch every single aspect of the story. Otherwise, we will stay here all day long, I guess. So what to say? Well, we are an Italian bicycle company since the beginning, with a partner company, a partner brand that is Columbus, so it's Cinelli and Columbus, the same company, same factory, same headquarter in Milano.
Yeah.
And from there we are trying to design and develop a lot of, let's say, little jewel, let me say.
Yeah.
And what to say? We have actually we have a long history in different bike segments. So because you must know that in the 90s, for example, Cinelli has been really famous, especially in Italy, but let's say in Europe, but with a real focus in Italy on mountain bikes. So we've been one of the first European brand importing or making, let's say, the mountain bike in Europe. So taking the experience of the US market, of the US bicycle manufacturing, and we made what we have called the Rampichino. So it was our first mountain bike.
And was the Rampichino, was it made in Italy?
Partially was made in Italy. We've been one of the first company, let's say, making a mountain bike with an industrial process, and we made some mountain bike in Italy. We made some mountain bike in Taiwan as well, and but we've been really together with Peugeot and Motobecane, I guess, one of the first European brand making mountain bike. And this is an interesting story. And before that, actually, we've been. So I give you some clue about the history of Cinelli. We've been one of the first European brand also making gravel bicycle. So the first gravel bicycle made by Cinelli was in the 1989 and was the Passatore. And it was a real gravel bicycle, which sounds crazy because gravel is a new kind of fashion, let's say, in the bicycle industry. But actually, we made the first gravel bicycle in 1989.
And we talk always about steel is real, all about the steel bikes.
Let's say that most of our iconic products, like the mountain bike, like the Passatore, were made out of steel, of course. Thanks also to Columbus, because it was the, let's say, the brother company making tubes for all the bicycle industry, we can say at that time. And of course, we leveraged a lot the knowledge on the steel, on how to draw tube steel, and making really special products with steel, actually, indeed.
I was 2 weeks ago in Italy and have seen that all. That's amazing because you see all the fabric looks very old because
old school.
Yeah, looks old school.
Original.
Original.
OG.
It's all original, and
yes.
you bring out nice new bikes. Yeah. And so gravel is.
Yeah, the thing is that in Calepio, in our warehouse headquarters, so Columbus also, the machinery is, let me say, the same for a long time. Yeah. Of course, renewed. But the cool thing is that you see how bikes were made also now, like it was before. The steel is always like original old school process, but with new geometry, new bikes, new specs, because for example this one is the new Speciale Gravel. It has all the new needs of the modern gravel bike. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we switch a little bit. We go back to the history later, but I was looking this, and yeah, it's the new one we are launching here. basically for 5 days. So it's a little bit of
it's
a
a
crazy
preview
idea.
of a bigger launch that we're gonna make
End of July.
End of July.
End of July, we're gonna launch the Speciale Gravel with all the colors, the setup, the components. But for now, we wanted to do a limited quantity, limited time only. One color, one setup. And this Speciale Gravel is pretty speciale because the point is that we came up with a complete new setup on the frame. So the idea is to have a modern gravel, but with old school tube sets. So steel. At the same time, you have a more slack geometry that is needed to have more comfort and more stability when you go traveling a lot. And on the other hand, you have the UDH compatibility, dropper post compatible.
Ready,
yeah. And also it's suspended fork ready with semi-integrated cable routing as well.
Okay.
So that's an interesting one. As you can see, it's very clean. It's made of steel, but the cables are all integrated. Yeah. And let me say also, the guys from Columbus and of course Cinelli, they made a very cool work on the tubes, because if you check the top tube, it's a bit like an ellipse.
Yeah.
So it's very thin. It's looking very good. And yeah, also on the seat stays behind.
Yeah.
So if you check, we took the yoke out on the chain stays to have a, let me say, a better clean look. But at the same time, we managed to get 29 2.2 tire clearance. So we have a real travel tire clearance, which is now needed for gravel that is wanted to go a little bit, let me say, like adventure as well.
Yeah, that's a very important thing by Cinelli. All bikes are perfect for traveling. Because steel, you can repair something if you go on points where
that's the point.
That's our mantra. So basically, we apart the Speciale project, which is something that is constantly moving. So the project is a live project. So we are changing it every season. Let's say that we make some improvement, or based on our experience of the customer feedback, we change a little bit, we move something, we change the shape of the tubes, and this is the result. So this is an all-terrain gravel bicycle that we really believe that is perfect for any kind of gravel use, also bikepacking and more extreme
traveling.
Gravel, let's say.
You see, it has all the eyelets needed for the travels, for the bike packing, you know.
Yeah.
Anything cage ready, front and rear rack ready. So it's full of opportunity, let's say. And there is, and again, as I said, it's a very all-terrain gravel bicycle. So it's a 29er with a big tire clearance. So you can go everywhere. At the same time, you can. At the same time, I can tell you something interesting, just to let you understand why it's a live project. So we increase the section of some tube. We redefine some others, and we are constantly looking for saving weight. Weight. So also the technology of Columbus, it's drawing tubes. So and the way we draw tubes allows us also to save some weight in the central part of the tubes, for example. So we draw tubes up to really thin thickness.
That was so interesting to see that in live, how it works and what is possible with steel in this time, because I don't want to tell something, but it will come also another new bike this year, I think.
We don't say too much.
Troppo bello.
Sì, è molto bello effettivamente. No, that's a very interesting thing that is pretty unique in the bicycle industry, let's say, and that's something that we are really proud of, because we, for this kind of project, for example, we really start from the raw material We start drawing the material, so the steel, up to the thickness that we believe are correct for the bicycle that we are developing. We shape the tubes, we bend the tubes, then we weld inside. So everything is made in, let me say, really
50 meters,
20,
even less,
50 meter
I have seen
distance.
that, and very interesting is then that one person made the full bike. He takes the tubes,
correct.
and then he built a bike. That's so amazing.
That's not conventional in the bicycle industry today. We really care about it, especially for this kind of product. So for us, generally speaking, for all the company, the steel is really, steel is real, is part of our soul. I mean, really.
And one cool thing I was saying about the seat stays, because you see they have a very rounded shape, like an S.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that when they were developing this bike, if you see them are like flattened.
Yeah. Okay.
That for a reason. It's not just for looks nice. It's to give more strength to the tubes in order to get it a more round shape, in order to have larger tires.
Okay.
So the point is that I remember that I would see the frames, the prototype, the trials, and you would have in the back, not the front part, only the back, to see and how it works, how it handles, and then doing the testing and checking if it was, compliant with all the stress needed for the steel. And you would see like the process, having, at first they were rounded, then they flattened, then they turn like this, and it's cool to see also. Yeah. We are there every day. You don't. For us, it's kind of normal. But when people from outside come and see, they're like, "Wow, what is this?"
And a question: the first gravel bike, was it a mountain bike with a drop bar, or?
Was not actually was a specific gravel bicycle. Was a bicycle intended. So it's the Passatore. If the people, if the people Google it, they will find it for sure. And it was not a mountain bike. Was a real gravel. So let's say was between a cyclocross bicycle and a mountain bike. But
before cyclocross was even a thing.
Yeah. Correct. So with if you check it, it's crazy because it was really 1989, and we still have the one of the bicycle of the time with the flared handlebar, with a longer wheelbase, with all the characteristics of a modern gravel bicycle. Of course, there was not the disc brake, there was the cantilever brake, but the element of the gravel were there actually, and that's crazy.
And
then
when you started, because you said that's very interesting, you were the first mountain bike brand in Europe. When you stopped with the mountain bikes?
Yeah, that's a funny story. We were among the first brand. We claim to be
yes, but also I mean Cinelli was very ahead also with the CMX, which was like a BMX.
Yeah, okay.
We did one of the first BMX production, but then moved to another direction.
Okay.
Well,
so on many
talking
phases.
about the mountain bike, we were between the really first brand introducing it in Europe. I remember, as I already mentioned, Peugeot, Motobecane were the French brand also doing the same period, and has been a great success actually for Cinelli at that time. And then the mountain bike became exploded in Europe, let's say. So became so popular, so powerful, let's say, that the owner at the time was a little bit upset. So it became like a mass market product. So and that's the reason why we
it wasn't niche anymore.
It wasn't a niche anymore, and so we stopped to do it. Probably it was a mistake. I mean, who knows? It's a decision taken at the time.
So you made a lot of things. You said, okay, here is very interesting because not all make that stuff.
Yeah, correct.
In
Yeah.
the beginning, mountain bike. Then you started very early with gravel,
Yeah, correct.
and
I mean,
you stay with steel bikes because steel is real. You have the market. It's not that big market, but it's something.
well, you must understand a little bit the brand. I mean, Cinelli has always been, let me call it a counter-stream brand. So we never looking for doing number on or making mass market products. So we always look for being special somehow. So
Okay.
try to be different, compare many other brands, which is the strength of the brand, and is also probably a limitation somehow. But it's something that we always liked, and we are keep on following that mentality, honestly. So if you check all our products, starting from the color, you understand that it's not that standard. So you always feel that Cinelli has something different, no?
Yeah, Cinelli, because Cinelli you have a lot of nice bikes, and that's also the good thing. You have bikes for beginners, also gravel bikes, which are not so expensive. A
Yes.
lot of people know Cinelli because a long tradition. Cinelli has always nice colors. A lot
Yeah.
of people come there, there's Cinelli, because they know the logo and stuff like that. And that's amazing because a lot of people know it. Also our age, very interesting. We raced together in
It was a long time ago. I forgot it. It was 2001. 2001, I guess. Yeah, that's a long time. You were
And
stronger than me, actually. But yeah.
we started very fast. And what's your job by Cinelli? What you are doing?
I'm head of sale now.
Yeah.
So taking care about, I mean, we are a small company, so officially I'm head of sales, so I'm taking care about the sales, about all the market, let's say, and strategy. But as I told you, we are a small company, so everybody do
nice.
everything. So
Yeah.
let me say also, Andrea will tell you is chief of marketing, but actually we are doing everything.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's let me say difficult, but it's also good because you see all the process, you see everything. As I was telling you, sometimes maybe I get the time to go in Columbus warehouse and see what is going on, what is happening. This, I think, gives you a little bit of extra when you go and do the activities for marketing, in my case, or maybe you go for the sales trips around, because especially in Cinelli, I think you really need to, Cinelli in Columbus, of course, you really need to have a passion. If you don't have a passion, there's no way you can stay there.
That's very interesting. If I stayed there, that's very nice because you are in the office and then you go to Columbus and you go and can have a look what bikes are here. But with the tradition, you have also a lot of fabrics in Asia or something like that. So that makes the thing difficult, I think. But you collect all in Italy, and then from there
we dispatch all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Because also, as you were saying before, we have on the gravel side the speciale gravel, so the steel, but also we have the, so this is the, let me say, more comfortable slash travel side of the gravel range.
Yeah.
And then we have the King Zydeco 2, which is our fast gravel, more racing oriented.
Yeah.
And then we have the Zydeco, which is, let's call it the little sister, but it's actually the first gravel bike. It's Zydeco for us. It's synonymous for gravel because the Zydeco is the music from Louisiana, so from the that area, you know, from USA.
Yeah.
And it has a range of music that goes like this, you know, up and down, up and down. So that is the concept.
And
started for Zydeco.
How old is the Zydeco? How many years Zydeco exists now?
Well, from let's say at least I will say 15 years, or
Yes,
a
at
little bit
least.
less than 15 years. Then
Wow.
it's changed over the years.
That's
of
also not
course,
normal
it's,
that you have one bike which exists 15 years
Yeah.
with the same
Yeah.
name and
with
It's
yeah,
very-
the name and the name will keep on going. I mean, because we never tired by the name. Actually,
Yeah.
the name is nice. So it's also there is an evolution. The Zydeco, the first Zydeco was a great bicycle, and then we always keep looking for improvement. Also, we're gonna launch soon a new Zydeco aluminum. Not to disclose too much, but that's
The
that's
updated-
also an ally project.
so you make the fast bikes. We have the carbon bikes, the Deco King 2
Yeah,
and
correct.
the Pressure 2 and all that stuff. Then we have middle range aluminium, and then made in Milano.
Yeah, the
It's-
soul
Yeah,
range.
That's the solo of our range probably. But yeah, as you said, Marcus, we always try to cover, let's say, all the segment of
Yeah.
the market, especially not only making bicycle for super expert rider, but also beginners or mid-entry or mid-customer, or then also for the even for the most demanding user,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay, cool. So thanks for coming.
But
Thank
thanks
you,
to you
Marcus,
for
having us.
of
I
course.
think we have to work a little bit because a lot of people here and they want to see the
The-
bikes and
Yeah.
they have questions.
I saw
Probably,
people
yeah.
asking.
Probably, yes.
And have a good time.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, eh?
And it's
Well,
nice to
Thank
work
you.
with you.
Thank you.
See you.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.